Well, in a video from long ago, I had mentioned that I have another car in our Watches and Wheels fleet that I have not yet talked about, and that is my 1984 Toyota Cressida. Now, the reason why you haven't heard about this car is because it has been at a body shop for 2 years, and I've had the car for 5 years, and all I did was just let it sit around and didn't do anything with it. At the time, I had 2 of these cars, and my buddy Joe calls me one day and says, "Hey, you want to buy a Cressida? There's a guy here who runs a notary who's got a Cressida, and he wants to sell it." So I'm like, heck yeah. So I drove over there and had a look at it, and what do you know, it's a, well, it was an all-original Survivor, bought by an old couple, kept it in a garage its whole life, and it even survived a daughter driving to Penn State in the 90s. And so anyway, the woman that bought it was this notary guy's wife, and she proceeded to crap it all up with cigarettes and damage the door. Now you can't see the door, but I'm dropping you pictures right now. The door had been crinkled in because she crumbled it against some truck bumper, and then proceeded to get the car stuck in the winter because it's rear-wheel drive, and blew the transmission with 86,000 original miles. So I went and looked at the car, and I'm like, well, hell, it's just so nice except for the damage that I'm going to buy it. So I bought it for $300. Now this is 5 years ago. So a shop that I had worked at before I went to watchmaking school, I had asked him right before I bought the Dodge if he would do some repair work to it, because I had went to Tennessee to buy a parts car, and I ended up recycling all my super parts when I did my 2JZ swap. And I decided to fix the other car, which went to Saudi Arabia, unbelievably. And then I had a blue one that I was daily driving for 5-6 years, and I sold that, and I figured I'll keep the nicest one. I'll just pay the money, since I only paid $300 for this car. I'll have the doors repaired. So he took the job, and they straightened the doors out and pretty much had it finished. The only thing that needed to be done was a little bit of rust repair on both fenders. I don't know, you guys are familiar with Cressidas, you'll know that right around here they get a little rust for some reason. So these have been repaired very well. And then I only asked them to blend the paint because the car was all original paint. I didn't want to paint it. So they didn't listen to me, and they painted this fender. So then they painted the other fender. So now I got 2 fenders that are painted, and now I got the doors that are painted because the damage was pretty crinkly. And he did a really nice job. I mean, I have to hand it to the man. It's just beautiful. I mean, he just, unbelievably, he made it look beautiful. The doors closed nice again. But now I've got a painted fender. I have an original painted hood. The roof is original paint. The doors are now been painted. Now this quarter panel, you probably couldn't even see it in the video, there's no way this paint's gonna match. There's just no way. So then the car was almost done. All he had to do was re-pinstripe it, put the trim back on, and I got to have it. This was like a year into it, before Christmas. And then some guys quit, and I don't know whatever happened, the story, but then all of a sudden now we're having catastrophic problems now. Now they had it backed up against the building, and a big humongous chunk of snow had fallen on the trunk, which really infuriated me to no less, because we're talking about a really nice, pretty car. And now the trunk is damaged. So the trunk is smashed in here, which right here has been smashed in. And then it broke these beautiful original taillights that had never seen sunshine. It cracked it right down here. I'll show you those later. This just makes me mad just thinking about it. So then it was there another year, and then during that year that the snow fell on it, a plow truck had hit the corner of it and pushed this quarter in. So I'm like literally lit off. I'm lit off because now I don't have an original trunk and original quarter panel. I've got 2 original painted doors, and now I got a painted fender. So you know how this is all going to work out. It isn't going to happen. So after 2 years, I got pissed off, and I got tired of dealing with this cat. So I paid him the money to fix what he'd done, and this is how he left it for me. So now my friends at Hendrix, where I used to work, this is where Ray works, our resident painter Robert Duvall, who's done our Polara. He has said to me, well, you know what, you're not going to be happy if you just try to put this all together. You're going to really be able to tell in a year or two that this doesn't match. So since it's not going to be original paint anymore, why don't you just paint the whole car? So here I am, working every Saturday now in this car here at the shop, because I am going to put a beautiful, well, Ray is going to put a magnificent, beautiful, original paint job on this thing. And we are going to make this thing look like $1 million and give it the respect it deserves. The nice thing about it is it has very few flaws, like tiny little dinks. I had put in some marker around them just so I know where they are. But everything is just looking marvelous. The glass is all nice. The interior has been gutted and cleaned and hanging in my basement for years now. And it's all at my house. I mean, the dashboard's gorgeous. I mean, 86,000 miles on one of these things. Got a beautiful, gorgeous headliner. I mean, everything is just superbly beautiful. So, that's why this car hasn't been around. And I am just waiting to have it because I love driving. These cars are so nice to drive. They're quiet and they've got real good amount of power. They're just awesome. And I miss it. Now I sold my other ones, and this is the one I kept for myself. So here we are now. So what I've decided to do is do all the mechanical work to it first. I'd rather do all that crap now than wait till the car is painted and do all that leaning over a fender. I don't want to do that. And it looks to me, I mean, I've really examined this thing really closely. It looks like it has a couple of things that are not original to the car anymore. The radiator cap's one of them. The master cylinder is not original. It has the original alternator in it, which is surprising. And it does not have the original transmission. I'll get to that story at another time, but the transmission has been replaced. That's a pretty cool story, and I'll tell that story to you at another time when I talk about the car better. But now my plan is that I'm going to, I don't even think it has the original, I think it has the original timing belt and water pump in it yet. The wire set is not. But I don't think anybody's ever done anything to it. Now, these engines were notorious for cam box leaks. These are kind of very similar in the design of like a Jaguar with cam boxes, and they leak oil. And this thing leaks oil all over the place. It was just a mess. So I got to pull the top of the motor off, engine off, timing belt, water pump, all new seals, cam boxes out, replace all those seals, flush the coolant system, flush all the brakes. I'm going to put new brake pads all around on it so I don't got to monkey with it for, I want to drive it for a long time. I don't want to be screwing around having to work on it after it's been painted. So I'm going to keep you updated on this car now that we're making headway on it every day. Or at least I'd like to make some headway on it every day, but it's looking like at this point now I'm only going to be able to work on it on Saturdays. So I got to come over here in the morning, and they're not open on a Saturday, so that gives me some time to work on this car without any distractions. So next time I come over here, I'm going to be starting working on the engine, and I'm hoping in a day I can get everything done. And then the only thing left is some brake work, which is not really too bad. You know, start doing the body. The sunroof is going to come out because I don't want any paint lines. Ray is talking about we're going all out on this thing. And unfortunately it will not be original paint anymore, but it's certainly going to be nice. So I'm hoping for the best here in all this. I mean, I'll show you the interior when it all goes back in. My plan is that once the car is painted, all I have to do is literally put a dealer tag on it and drive it home. And then I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to be able to get it home and put in, who the hell's calling me? Probably another spammer. And then, what was I saying until this damn phone's distracted me now? Oh good, they hung up. Anyway, I'll show you this over here quick while I'm over here. Just wait till you see how beautiful the interior is in this thing. 86,926 original miles. And even the tape deck works. At least I think it does. I dropped the tape in it when I bought it, and it did play, so we were kind of excited. Gail and I are going to take out our tape collection and we drive it around. But anyway, there's a little rust spot here in the corner, and I want to handle this right away. I don't want any problems with this down the road, so I'm going to remove the skin, take the gasket off, and we're going to paint the sunroof and repair it so it's right. So there it is, you know. So today I've been working on, I put an oil pan gasket on it today and started stripping the rest of the moldings off. And then Ray is coming in tomorrow to put some paint on this just so we can see what it looks like to cover up this primer. We can do any more finishing work we need to finish on this stuff before, so one more day at least of getting the engine work finished on it. The AC compressor does not work anymore, so I'm going to be rebuilding that because I want air conditioning. I want all the things to work, because everything does actually work with the exception of the AC, and then it's going to get repaired. So that's really what we're at right here. And after owning it for 5 years, I'm actually looking forward to putting it on the road and driving it. I have driven it around my house in my neighborhood, and it drives so nice. My blue one was dogged out. It was nice looking, but it was dogged out. And I gotta tell you this before I leave you, is you'd be surprised at how many people come up to me about this car and talk to me about it. They just love these things. I took my blue one to a Carlisle import show, and it got so much attention you wouldn't believe it. And I'm gonna say it, they're pretty rare. They are pretty darn rare. When they were brand new, they were like $15,000. So this was Toyota's luxury car in 1984. You know, I remember Jay Leno mentioning something. He always talked about the last year of the old technology. Well, prior to 1985, this is the old technology. All the old buttons, a steering box, you know, everything is just old, and not like they changed a lot of things around when they went to the 85 model. But I always preferred this model. I've had a couple of these. Like I said, I had a wagon that I really liked, and I'm just more preferred to this body style than I am the next generation after that. But anyway, so that's enough of my blabbering. So I'll keep you updated and post the next video as I go along, and eventually we're going to get home to my driveway and we're going to start putting it back together, and then I'll make a presentation and we'll discuss a little more things about it and talk some shop about it. But if you like old Cressidas and you want to see this one come back to life, hit like and hit that subscribe button. So, alright, well, I'm going to let you go before a train goes or some loud exhaust goes or something, you know, something's going to distract me. And we'll catch you when we're doing the engine. So, I'll see you guys later.
Hey guys, you like what you see? You do? Awesome. Do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button down there for me so you get to see a whole lot more.